The difference here is the reach. 68 inches for Zach George, 62 for Wilson Reis. That's going to be important in keeping the grappler, the submission specialist, at a distance.
And Jimmy, your inner circle.
Beware the mat. Reis has world-class jiu-jitsu. Like I just said, Zach George has to use his wrestling defensively to avoid the Brazilian strength. More than he can chew. Reis told us in the interview he has faith in his stand-up game and wants to display it tonight, but considering George has dangerous boxing and Reis has looked vulnerable before on his feet, that might be a dangerous gamble. Is the third time the charm. Wilson has come up short twice in Bellator and is more motivated than ever to win it all. Is this his year?
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at Lucky Star Casino, we've got your game. Bellator Fighting Championships on MTV2 now moves to fight number 3 in the quarterfinals of the featherweight tournament. 3 5-minute rounds brought to you by Everlast. Greatness is within. And now introducing the red corner at 5'3", weighing in at 145.5 pounds. His professional record, 11 wins with only 2 losses. Fighting out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, introducing Wilson Reis. Across the cage is the adversary fighting out of the blue corner at 5'6", weighing in at 145.75 pounds. His professional record stands at 20 wins, 3 losses, and 1 no contest. From Norman, Oklahoma, introducing Zach Red Devil George. And the referee for this contest, Jason Herzog.
Bellator Featherweight Tournament quarterfinal number 3. The winner will join Kenny Foster and Daniel Strauss in the final 4. Wilson Reis is in the white trunks. Zach George is in the black trunks. Jason Herzog is the referee.
First round, fighter, you ready? Fighter, you ready? Let's fight!
The bell in round number 1. Our Bellator clock is presented by PSP. Step your game up. PSP now just 129.
Wilson coming out in that southpaw stance. Look for the straight right from Zach George.
Reis, born in Brazil, now lives in Philadelphia, where he is a full-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor. Of course, he is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and a very, very high-ranking and high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
World champion at the brown belt level. He has credentials. I know a lot of guys who have trained with him and say he is amazing on the ground. And we've seen it here in Bellator. Against Shad Lyerly, put on a clinic, but good left hands now by Wilson.
Reis throwing with the hands after the knee, then the body kick to answer back by Zach George. Reis now with the single leg and takes his man down. Rubber guard from George.
Well, Zach George, trained by Jared Weiner, Brad Daddis, with Daddis Fight Camp. Those guys, Lloyd Irvin, black belts. So he has good jiu-jitsu training, but is he on Wilson Reis' level? That's the important part.
George holds the rank of purple belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu. His base, though, is wrestling. A native Oklahoman, started wrestling at the age of 5.
You see holding that tight, high, almost rubber guard, not quite in mission control, but doing a good job of kind of stalling Wilson out.
Diving in, double left hands there by Reis. Huge hammer fist. And now George is giving his back and turtles up. Reis has one hook in and both.
Now he has him flattened out.
Huge shots. Referee Jason Herzog taking a really close look.
You hear him say, aim for the ears. Strikes at the back of the head are illegal. Wilson doing a great job of keeping those strikes legal. But it is so hard to get a guy like this off your back.
Reis, a 2-time semifinalist in Bellator, previous featherweight tournaments, coming in season 1 and season 2.
Oh, rear naked is deep.
This is very deep.
This is done.
The end could be near. And that is it. Just like that, Wilson Reis is through to the semifinals.
Man, a dominant first-round performance. A lot of people were saying Zach George could be the guy to upset Wilson Reis, and it was not to be. Man, that's some beautiful jiu-jitsu, Sean. Flattened him out, got the choke against a very tough opponent.
Reis said from fighting in 2 previous Bellator tournaments, he learned that he had to be more confident and more aggressive. Certainly in both tonight.
I think he was. A lot of people had said, well, he has great jiu-jitsu, but he's not much of a finisher. He said, I've been working on that a lot, and man, he certainly finished Zach George. Zach George didn't have very many competitive moments in that fight.
2 minutes, 9 seconds. The sub comes in round number 1.
See him take a look, and Get some replays, get another look. And it was here. Once he was in the guard, nice ground and pound. Quick little overhand left, but very powerful shots from Wilson Reis. But beautiful. Once he was past that guard and had his hooks in, now just a matter of time with a guy like that. Powerful hips, got him flattened out. That right arm underneath. As soon as it was underneath the jaw, that is over. Zach George having no chance. Wilson Reis elated. He moves on to the semifinals once again.
George couldn't even tap. He waved his hand, and that's outstanding refereeing by Jason Herzog to detect a submission. A first-round submission for Wilson Reis. He is through to the semifinals.